Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to do a take 10 on one of my favorite action movie badasses from the late 80s all the way up through the late 90s. And that's Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal put out a lot of good movies. I think his run, when I say their run, the hot streak was probably about 10 years. After 10 years, I think his movies, the quality and quantity of his work declined. He had a long run in Hollywood. I think 10 years is a decent run. I don't think it's a really long run, but Seagal had a decent run. So let's go ahead and take a look at 10 movies that I consider 10 of his better movies. A lot of the stuff that came out after this is not so good. If you feel differently, drop a line in the comment. But let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at these 10 good movies from Steven Seagal, starting with the first Seagal movie I ever saw, Above the Law. Above the Law came out in 1988. It runs for 99 minutes, and it has a low 6.0 IMDb. Again, action movies like this, you know, me, you, the critics, nobody watch them for the acting. We don't watch these movies for the story. We watch them just for the action, basically. But this one was a pretty decent movie. I liked it, and I don't agree with that IMDb. I think this should be at least a 6.5 or a 7. Next up, we got Under Siege and Under Siege 2. This is a double pack. Both of them makes this list, so we're going to start with Under Siege. Under Siege came out in 1992. It runs for 103 minutes. It has a 6.5 IMDb. I can agree with that 6.5. However, this is where me and the IMDb have conflict. I don't think Under Siege was better than Above the Law. I just don't think so. They might be on par with each other, but I don't think it's 5 points higher as far as it's being just a better movie. But anyway, Under Siege 2, 1995. It ran for 100 minutes, and it scores a very well-deserved 5.5. Under Siege 2 was horrible. And the only reason why I got it is because it came in a double pack. Under Siege 2 was not a good movie. Under Siege 1 was a pretty solid action movie for its time. Next up, we have one of my favorite Seagal movies. There's like 5 movies from Seagal that I consider favorites. I have more, but my top 5, and this is Out for Justice. This might be in my top 3. Out for Justice is a fantastic Seagal movie, one of his best. Out for Justice came out in 1991. It ran for 91 minutes, and it has a 6.1 IMDb. Again, this should be about a 7. This is good, really good. I enjoyed this one. The acting, again, acting it's an action movie from, a bygone era. So the story was okay. It was a good Seagal movie. Next up, another good Seagal movie, Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill came out in 1990. Ran for 96 minutes, and it got a low 5.8 IMDb. I'm not sure what's up with that. This movie right here, a 5.8, no way. This should be at least minimum 6.5, at least. This is a really good Seagal movie. I don't know what's up with these critics, but again, take those ratings with a grain of salt. I like to use them as a guide. You guys know that. You watch my videos, you know that I do bring up IMDb a lot, but I use it as a guide. If a movie is rated particularly low, it might be something to it. No, it's usually something to it. If a movie is rated particularly high, it's usually something to it. So I just use it as a guide. I don't hold to it, faithfully. Next up, we got another one of my favorite Seagal movies, Marked for Death. This is definitely this is one of the darker Seagal movies. You would think Seagal was a lot of his movies was a lot of action, a lot of fighting, but they wasn't dark. Out for Justice was dark, and this one is dark. Okay, you got the voodoo going on in here. A lot of like drug dealing. Like the 2 main bad guys, or one guy, he was like a voodoo. It was good. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed this one a lot. I thought this was definitely one of the better Seagal movies. And I think this might be it's not one of the higher rated ones, but it's good. It's came out in 1990. It ran for 93 minutes, and it scored a low 6.0. Again, none of his movies really scored high, but maybe that was the way they was, rating them back then, but I still think this should be at least a 7. That's my opinion. I liked it. The Glimmer Man. Glimmer Man. What can I say about the Glimmer Man? The Glimmer Man was all right. it was a decent enough Seagal movie. The Glimmer Man came out in 1996. This is right before the decline. Well, this is during the decline. This is when Seagal just started having issues in his personal life. The industry was looking at him sideways. He was doing stuff. This is it right here. This is where you could really see the decline. So the Glimmer Man came out in 1996. It ran for 88 minutes. And it has a very low 5.4 IMDb. I would have gave this at least a 6.0. It wasn't that bad. It was all right. Okay. Now, this is a good one. And again, why was this rated so low? It's beyond me. On Deadly Grounds. Now, this one was, Michael Caine was the man. For those of you who know, Michael Caine, Alfred from Batman, that's what we know him. That's what a lot of us know him for. But he's done way more than that. But a lot of people know him as Alfred in the Christian Nolan Batman series, a lot of the younger people. So for those young bucks out there, Michael Caine is Alfred. And that's him right there, a young Michael Caine. Okay? This movie was good, really good. On Deadly Ground came out in 1994. It ran for 101 minutes, and it only received a disgraceful 4.6 IMDb. I would have gave this at least a 5.5 at the very least. It was a solid Seagal movie. And it came out before the decline. It really did. This came out right before his decline. The Glimmer Man came out during his decline. This came out right before his decline. Or this could have been the beginning of the decline, but this wasn't up to the caliber of the stuff we saw before, but it was still solid. Okay, this is during the decline, okay? But I'm going to bring it up anyway. Exit Wounds with DMX. This was not a good movie. No, it was just okay. Exit Wounds came out in 2001. It ran for 101 minutes, and it got a 5.6. Now, look, this wasn't a bad movie, but if you're going to give this one a 4.6 and give this one a 5.6, I don't know what's going on here. Last but not least, Fire Down Below. Fire Down Below, I thought Fire Down Below was okay. This was during the decline. Fire Down Below came out 1997. It ran for 105 minutes and it scored a 5.1. It was okay. I didn't take issue with it. So that's 10 movies from Steven Seagal. As you look in here, the highest rated one out of all of these is Under Siege, the first one. I don't agree with that. I think there's quite a few of these. There should be in that 6.5 realm. And maybe 1, 2, maybe at a 7. But Seagal had a decent run. Like I said, maybe his run was probably about 10 years. After 10 years, he just kind of fell off and started doing a lot of B-style movies. And you knew it was over for him. Remember the movie Executive Decision? I don't know if I got that. I think I have that. I didn't want to pull that because he died so early in the movie. It really wasn't a Steven Seagal vehicle. That was more of a Kurt Russell vehicle. But so you started really seeing how Seagal just started doing B-circuit movies. And if there's plenty of like documentaries and stories out there about Seagal and why his career just kind of fizzled out way earlier than it should have. But anyway, that's the Take 10 on Steven Seagal. The next one, I'm planning it out now. I'm not sure what it's going to be. But thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. We're up to like 170 subs now. That's great. We're growing. I mean, we were stale there for a second. Not many people subscribing, but over the last couple of weeks, we gained like 30 subs. Thank you all. I appreciate you for watching. We're going to do a pickup video tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.